Hey there, Rob Wardrip with InExpress here. Wanted to create this video for all of our customers and even those of you who may not be our customers yet, but find yourselves receiving charges being invoiced with charges that seem to be inaccurate. And oftentimes this is due to what appears to be an inconsistency in the information that's entered when you're booking the shipment, particularly when it comes to dimensions and weight. Now, oftentimes I'll talk to customers about this who they see a charge that looks high and they'll say, wait, no, this can't be right. I weighed the shipment on my scale and it said 10 pounds, but this is a lot more than what was quoted. And then when we look at it, we see that the dimensions are off by just even an inch in some cases. That forces that shipment to go to a dimensional weight. So carriers, all the carriers do this. They're going to compare the actual weight against a mathematical formula that that calculates the volume for the shipment and determines what we refer to as dimensional weight. And they'll take the higher of those two, and that's what they charge based on. So to explain how dimensional weight works, then this is for small package, international, and small package domestic. The formula is to take the dimensions of the length, multiply them by the width, and multiply that by the height. So all three of those dimensions, length times width times height, and then that number, which is usually a fairly large number, is divided by the divisor as 139. That will give you the dimensional weight for the shipment. But again, if that's higher than the actual weight, that's what the carrier is going to go with. So you can check your dimensional weight on any shipment if you do that calculation. Again, length times width times height. Take that number, the sum of that multiplication calculation, and then if you divide it by 139, that will give you the dimensional weight. What generally happens, what I see every week when we go through our invoice editing process, there are three different people that look at each week's invoicing, and we're comparing what's charged to what was actually invoiced. Hopefully they're the same, but if they're different, then we want to identify why. And I can tell you right now, the most common issue that I see is a shipment going to a dimensional weight. Now, let's just talk about how that happens. We're going to run a clip here of the scanners that this is of the DHL hub in that CVG Northern Kentucky Cincinnati airport. It's the main hub for DHL in the United States, at least right now. They're building another one in Atlanta, but right now everything goes through CVG pretty much. And you'll notice that these are high-tech scanners. They use lasers to determine the dimensions and the weight of the shipment. And as these packages go through this process, these scanners are highly calibrated. They're detecting the outermost dimension of the box. So if there's a bulge in the box, or if you've entered the dimensions as 14.5, and that's going to round to the nearest number anyway to 15. Let's say that for whatever reason the bulge in the box is being detected as over 15, then it's automatically going to bump it up to 16. So it can oftentimes be the difference of 1 inch or less. Anything over what you have entered as the total dimension, either length times width or times height, can affect the dimensional weight calculation. And so if it ends up going dimensional, then that's in that weight, that dimensional weight is higher than the actual weight. That's what you're going to be charged for. So I'm going to have right above me here a whiteboard and a table. In this whiteboard bows here, we're going to demonstrate the entered dimensions and the entered weight. Then just on the line below that, we're going to show what was invoiced by the carrier, both the dimensions that they show and the dimensional weight, and you'll see a difference in the dimensional weight versus what was entered by the customer. And then finally, to the far right, you'll see the difference in the rate. Now, it's not the rate, that's the difference in the rate. Okay, so let's go through this. Line one shows what was quoted. This, in other words, this is what the customer entered 15 by 12 by 7 and a weight of 82.8 pounds. And what was invoiced by the carrier. So then the carrier, runs through the scanner, and the scanners determine that the dimensions are actually 16 by 12 by 8. So it's over on two of those dimensions. We don't know if it's a full inch over, probably not, but it's higher than what was entered. And so that gives a dimensional weight of 95. The difference in the rate from it being from 82.5 pounds to 95 pounds, it's a difference of $95. To me, that's significant, especially if you have quoted a shipment to your customer and that customer is planning on paying that much that has been quoted and no more. Now you have to make a decision as to whether to charge the customer more for shipping, or if you just let that overage eat into the profit margin of your sell. And so it's critical that you enter the dimensions as accurately as you can. I am always surprised by the number of customers we have who get in a hurry and they don't physically measure those boxes and weigh them. But guessing will be expensive at some point. If it doesn't happen every time, it will happen at some point. Okay, line number 4, we have what was entered was 14 by 14 by 20, with the weight again at 72.4 pounds. Really, you should enter that as 73 pounds because it's always going to go to the next highest number. What was invoiced shows 14 by 15 by 22. So the dimensional weight is 78 pounds, and the difference in the rate is $161. So how much does one inch cost? It can be a lot. Okay, in the last example here, what was quoted or what was entered by the customer, 20 by 20 by 14, with an actual weight of 40.29, so that should be 41 pounds. Invoiced by the carrier is showing 20 by 22 by 15. And that changes it by 7 pounds for a dimensional weight of 48 pounds. And that ends up being a difference of $31. So you can see from these examples that if you're not 100% accurate with the dimensions, it can be costly. And the same thing with weighing it on the scales. You want to make sure that the information you're entering is what you're expecting when the invoices come through. Now, do the carriers, do they make mistakes? They do sometimes. It's not often. In 12 years in this business, I have advocated, I've gone back to the carrier. We have found errors before, but compared to the thousands of shipments that have gone through, it's a very small number. So hopefully you have found this information helpful and enlightening. It's always our hope that we can help our customers save money, save time, save hassle. And if you have additional questions about this, please let me know, reach out to us, and you can call or email. We're here to answer any questions that you might have regarding dimensional weight, and not just what dimensional weight is, but how it applies to your packages, especially when it's just a little over that dimension that you've entered into the shipment details. Thanks again, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.